May I kindly request you all to please put your mobile phones on silent mode? Thank you. The much-awaited moment has arrived. Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, along with dignitaries, has arrived here. We are truly honored by the Lordship's presence, and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with us. Surely, it's a memorable event for everyone involved. A very warm welcome. A favorable weather is nature's bounty, and a pleasant smile says it all. Very warm welcome, Honorable Chief Justice of India. Thank you so much. Invoking God's blessings on behalf of the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad Fraternity, I, K. Rashi Badalia Kumar, extend my warm greetings to one and all. A very good morning. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this special event of the launch of the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh by the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud. His Lordship has already inaugurated the Arbitration Center earlier today, and after this program, he would be inaugurating the new Judges Library. We are truly honored by the gracious presence of His Lordship, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, and guests of honor, Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Misra, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge, Supreme Court of India. On the dais, we have Honorable the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, Mr. Justice Arun Bhansali, Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Kumar Gupta, Senior Judge, Allahabad High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice M.C. Tripathi, Judge, Allahabad High Court, President of the High Court Bar Association, Mr. Ashok Kumar Singh, and President of the Advocates Association, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, Senior Advocate. We also welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Ramesh Sinha, the Chief Justice of Chhattisgarh High Court, and Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, gracing the occasion. May we hear a round of applause for this great moment that we all are witnessing here. I now very warmly and humbly invite Honorable the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, Mr. Justice Arun Bhansali, to please deliver his welcome address to the august gathering. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Deepak Mittal, Pankaj Mittal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Mishra, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Brother Justice Ramesh Sinha, Chief Justice, Chhattisgarh High Court, Brother Justice D.K. Upadhyay, Chief Justice, Bombay High Court, Brother Justice D.B. Bhosle, former Chief Justice of this court, Brother Justice Manoj Kumar Gupta, Brother Justice M.C. Tripathi, Shri Ashok Kumar Singh, President, Allahabad High Court Bar Association, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, President, Advocates Association, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an historical moment in the annals of the history of Allahabad High Court as we gather here to celebrate the launch of the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh, inauguration of an arbitration center and a judges library in the precincts of this court. I take this occasion to express my profound gratitude to the Chief Justice of India, honorable judges, of the Supreme Court and other dignitaries present on and off the dais who have taken out their precious time from their busy schedules and graced this occasion with their august presence. I am highly grateful to Honorable the Chief Justice, who has been kind enough to spare his precious time from his busy schedule and has consented to launch Courts of Uttar Pradesh, inaugurate the Arbitration Center and the Judges Library, which has added sheen and luster to the today's event. Justice Chandrachud epitomes academic excellence, scholastic approach, and erudite knowledge, and these traits of his lordship resonate with the spirit of today's event. The presence of Honorable Justice Pankaj Mittal, Honorable Justice Manoj Mishra, and Honorable Justice Rajesh Bindal, judges of Honorable Supreme Court of India, Brother Justice Ramesh Sinha, Chief Justice Chhattisgarh High Court, and Brother Justice D.K. Upadhyay, Chief Justice Bombay High Court, has further dignified and enriched the occasion. It goes without saying that their significant contributions to this esteemed institution, spanning in various stages, have been invaluable, serving as guiding light for all of us to emulate. I express a deep sense of gratitude and thanks towards the other dignitaries present on and off the dais, including the former Chief Justice, Justice D.B. Bhosle, and other former judges of this court who have readily accepted our invitation and agreed to grace this occasion with their presence. My lords and other dignitaries, I, on behalf of this court and my companion judges, profoundly express my gratitude and contentment for making this occasion special and monumental by your distinguished and charismatic presence. At the very outset, the culmination of the above trinity of projects is squarely attributable to the honorable members of the committees of this court, registry officials, and other stakeholders, as only on account of their active support and contribution these projects have been completed. In a civilization and as ancient and diverse as India, institutions undergo various stages of evolution influenced by rulers of different dynasties. The judiciary is no exception to these influences. The antiquity and diversity of contributions that have shaped our present-day judiciary necessitated thorough research and collaboration from diverse stakeholders. The endeavor in bringing out the book, The Courts of Uttar Pradesh, has proven to be immensely rewarding. The district courts, serving as the primary point of contact for justice seekers, holds profound significance in our judiciary. However, until now, its historical evolution has remained largely undocumented. The book, Courts of Uttar Pradesh, is a well-crafted and intensively researched piece of work which unveils and exhibits the districts of UP from a historical, cultural, and socio-economic perspective. It reveals the district judiciary of the state from the past to the present, from infancy to maturity, with emphasis on its structural composition, and illuminates on the important judgments of historical and legal significance passed by several justices of the state. The book showcases a rich tapestry of information pertaining to the district, the cultural mosaic, and eminent personalities hailing from various districts of the state. The inspiration for this book has come from publication of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, High Courts of India, which has been replicated by the High Court at the state level and within the social milieu of this culturally enriched state of UP. I am told the endeavor, Courts of Uttar Pradesh, had its genesis in the determined resolve of then Chief Justice of this court, Justice D.B. Bhosle, who had set up a committee way back in the year 2017, headed by Honorable Justice Vikram Nath. His Lordship, Honorable Justice Vikram Nath, was instrumental at that incoherent stage in planning the contours of this book and giving shape to this novel idea. Later on, Honorable Justice Rajesh Bindal, who was then the Chief Justice of this court, gave a fresh impetus to this idea by constituting a committee headed by my esteemed colleagues Justice M.K. Gupta, and comprising my brother colleagues, Justice Anjani Kumar Mishra, Justice S.D. Singh, Justice Jayant Banerjee, Justice Abdul Moin, and Justice Ajay Banot. Multiple deliberations and discussions between the members of the committee preceded the final culmination of this book. All the nuances pertaining to the book were well planned, and after consensus among the members of the committee, this intensively and extensively researched project is before you. The commitment of the committee members, the production and design team, the dedicated support staff, and officers of the registry, along with the young team of researchers, has been exemplary. They have devoted months to this cause, and we owe them our deepest gratitude. Their collaborative spirit and tireless dedication have played a pivotal role in creating this institutional memory. I'm confident that this book will be warmly received by the legal fraternity, readers, and the general public alike. Arbitration, as an important vestige of alternate dispute resolution mechanism, has come to stay and is integral to our legal discourse. An expeditious remedy in resolving mercantile disputes and other conflicts, arbitration is the buzzword which has to be adopted, promoted, and perpetuated by the legal fraternity. The judiciary is expected to be the torchbearer and lead from the front in popularizing the culture of arbitration so that a win-win situation ensues for all the stakeholders. This calls for providing a basic structural mechanism and fostering infrastructure requirements to make arbitration mechanism successful at every level. Being well conversant with this fact, this court is determined in giving an impetus to arbitration as a remedy at Prayagraj and in the state of UP. Requirement to have appropriate venue for holding arbitration, which is equipped with basic facilities and appropriate infrastructure for the purposes of convenient hearing of the matters, was being felt for a long time, as the arbitrations are being conducted either at hotels or at the venues made available by either of the parties. Keeping in view the said requirement, it was thought appropriate to set up a state-of-the-art arbitration center, providing all basic facilities for holding arbitration proceedings in a convenient and congenial atmosphere. The untiring and collective efforts of the committee of this court has eventually paved the way for the inauguration of this arbitration center at the Prayagraj, and presence of Honorable the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court and other dignitaries have made this occasion colossal, celebratory, and commemorative in the annals of history of this court. The field of law is not static. It is a dynamic field with developments taking place 24/7. If one abstains from reading, it would surely lead to fossilization of the legal acumen. The corridors of the Allahabad High Court has produced lawyers and judges with scholastic approach and academic excellence, and therefore, in order to perpetuate this immutable fact, this court has always been very active and sensitive in ensuring that it is equipped with the best of the law books and journals for the benefit of its judges. With this fact in mind, the High Court is pleased to get a judges' library inaugurated by Honorable Chief Justice, who is himself an epitome of scholastic approach and stellar academic excellence. I'm confident that this judges' library shall act as a rich repository of knowledge, which shall immensely benefit its judges in their day-to-day functioning. I also take this occasion to put on record and indicate some major steps and efforts taken by this court, among others, in the arena of infrastructure and technology information. Regarding the infrastructure, integrated court complexes for districts to be implemented in 10 districts on a pilot basis, and work whereof is swiftly progressing with an aim to achieve justice at one place for the litigants. This idea will encompass district courts, residential buildings, MSCTs, commercial courts, and family courts under one roof. 2,366 lawyers' chambers are being constructed at High Court, Allahabad, with multi-level parking, which will be G+11, which will accommodate 2,323 four-wheelers and 1,500 two-wheeler vehicles and would take care of the congestion which we see around the court. Pink toilets for female staff, advocates, litigants are being constructed in the district courts across the state of UP as per the policy of the government. It is being built extensively for women, and maintenance upkeep is also to be done by women. New 30 courts, 20 chambers building is already functional in the High Court. New building of Museum of this court has been constructed, which displays the rich heritage and legacy of this court, which was just visited by my lords. Digitalization of physical records, case files in the High Court till June 2023 has already taken place, wherein we have digitalized 46 crore pages and 43 crores records have already been verified. E-filing facility is being used in this court since August 2017, along with SMS facility. There is also an online defect removal facility for advocates. For the first time, posting of candidates of Civil Judge Junior Division Batch 2022 has been made through automated software successfully, where there is absolutely no human intervention based on the home district and the candidates' merit. The postings are being given. Process of digitalization of judicial records in district court has been initiated in 45 districts. Till December 2023, approximately 3 crore pages have been scanned. Having elaborated on the above projects, I express a deep sense of satisfaction at this juncture, and in the same vein, once again express my profound gratitude and deep appreciation at the culmination of the projects, and assure you that whatever is going on shall be done at the best. Lastly, this court is once again highly grateful to the Chief Justice of India, the judges of Honorable Supreme Court seated on the dais, and other dignitaries present at the function who have made this event monumental by gracing this occasion with their august and charismatic presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, for the enriching and warm address. And we now proceed with the felicitation of Honorable the Chief Justice of India and other dignitaries by presenting of bouquet and mementos. Flowers that shine in their beauty and grace are the best gifts to welcome. Yes, and they look so beautiful. Extraordinary flowers for extraordinary people. May I request Honorable Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, Mr. Justice Arun Bhansali, to please welcome Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, with bouquet of flowers and present him memento. Memento, a token of our gratitude, reminding you of the profound admiration and respect we hold for you, Your Lordship. Thank you. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Kumar Gupta, Senior Judge, Allahabad High Court, to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, with bouquet of flowers and present him memento. Flowers convey a universal language. Timeless gifts to remember. Thank you so much. I now request Honorable Mr. Justice M.C. Tripathi, Judge, Allahabad High Court, to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Misra, Judge, Supreme Court of India, with bouquet of flowers and present him memento. I now request Mr. Ashok Kumar Singh, President of the High Court Bar Association, to please welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, with the presentation of memento and first with bouquet of flowers. Presentation of memento. Thank you so much. I now request Mr. Pradeep Kumar, President of the Advocates Association, Senior Advocate, to welcome Honorable Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, Mr. Justice Arun Bansali, with bouquet of flowers and present him memento. Thank you so much. Mr. Nitin Sharma, Secretary, High Court Bar Association, may I please request you to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Ramesh Sinha, the Chief Justice of Chhattisgarh High Court, with bouquet of flowers and present him memento. Can we hear it loud and louder? Thank you so much. I now request Mr. Desh Ratan Chaudhary, Secretary, Advocates Association, to please welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, with bouquet of flowers and present him memento. Winds do sway in motion through solitary hours, such as the price of beauty of extraordinary flowers. They say so much. And mementos expressing the gratitude and token of appreciation. And now we proceed further, as it is the time to hear from my esteemed guests of honor. I would be inviting humbly and cordially Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to enlighten us with his precious words. Sir, I would first read out your biography. So I'll just be calling you. Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal was appointed as a judge at the Punjab and Haryana High Court in 2006 and served there for 12 years till 2018. He chaired several committees, and amongst others, he was a chairperson of a committee constituted by the Ministry of Women and Child Development to study the civil aspects of International Child Abduction Bill 2016. After transfer to the Jammu and Kashmir High Court in 2018, he was committed to making legal instruments more accessible to the public and using technology to better the legal field. His efforts are visible through his involvement in countless committees for computers, finance, building land infrastructure, information technology, and legal services. Justice Bindal was transferred to the Calcutta High Court in January 2021. In April 2021, he was appointed as acting Chief Justice of the Calcutta High Court until he was appointed as the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court in October 2021. In February 2023, he was elevated as the Judge of the Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to please enlighten us with his precious words. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience.
A very good morning. Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, my brother colleagues in the Supreme Court and brother colleagues who have been at Allahabad, Lucknow, and Brother Bhosle is also there. He was the Chief Justice of this court. Presidents of the bar, both bars rather, their office bearers, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I think, a momentous function. And taking the clue from yesterday, I would also like to speak in Hindi. क्योंकि अगर हम पंजाब में हों तो नॉर्मली 8 बजे के बाद 8 PM के बाद इंग्लिश ज्यादा बोली जाती है। उससे आगे पीछे टाइम में पिंग्लिश या हिंग्लिश होती है। बट इलाहाबाद आने के बाद थोड़ा हिंदी की तरफ आई थिंक आई ऑल्सो लिटिल बिट करेक्टेड माई हिंदी, क्योंकि यहाँ ज्यादा काम हिंदी में है। अब ये आर्बिट्रेशन सेंटर इनॉग्रेट हुआ, थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में बताऊंगा मैं कि यहाँ पे गेस्ट हाउस प्लान था पहले, शायद इनिशियली सम VIP गेस्ट हाउस और समथिंग। सो जब उसके बारे में उसका कुछ फर्निशिंग वगैरह चल रहा था, जब मैं यहाँ आया तो जब ये देखा कि हमारे पास एक गेस्ट हाउस और है यहाँ पे, और एक ही आइसोलेटेड प्लेस पे 2 या 3 4 कमरे हम बनाएंगे तो उसको कोई भी गेस्ट होगा तो वो बिल्कुल आइसोलेटेड एक 3rd 4th फ्लोर पे वहाँ पे अकेला रुकेगा, उसकी मेंटेनेंस है वो सब एक प्रॉब्लमेटिक चीज़ थी। सो मेरी सब ब्रदर से जो हमारे हैं कमेटीज़ में हैं बिल्डिंग की, या सीनियर जो हमारे जजेस थे, उनसे बात हुई तो एवरीबडी एग्रीड कि हम यहाँ आर्बिट्रेशन सेंटर बनाएं, क्योंकि वी नीड टू प्रमोट ADR। और यहाँ हमारे पास कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं थी इलाहाबाद में। तो अभी हमने देखा कि बहुत अच्छा वो एक सेटअप बन गया है। अभी ये सोचना कि आर्बिट्रेशन यहाँ पे होगी या नहीं होगी, आई थिंक इट्स टू अर्ली। एक फैसिलिटी क्रिएट होना बहुत जरूरी है। लाइक ये कन्वेंशन सेंटर बना है तो इसमें कितने फंक्शन अब होते हैं, शायद जब बना होगा तो नहीं सोचा होगा किसी ने। दूसरी चीज ये है कि आई थिंक आई एम लिटिल ब्लेस्ड, एज हैज बीन टोल्ड। पंजाब हरियाणा के हाई कोर्ट से चलने के बाद कंट्री की ओल्डेस्ट हाई कोर्ट में भी मैं गया। कैलकाटा इज द ओल्डेस्ट हाई कोर्ट एंड दिस इज द लार्जेस्ट हाई कोर्ट। सो दोनों जगह मेरे को काम करने का मौका मिला। और जब मैं यहाँ 16 महीने रहा हूँ। 11 अक्टूबर को ओथ हुई थी और 12 फरवरी को लास्ट वर्किंग डे तो नहीं था, वर्किंग डे तो 10 फरवरी था, सैटरडे संडे था बीच में। तो उस बीच में हमने कुछ बहुत हिस्टोरिक यहाँ पे इवेंट्स हुए। एक तो 71 की वार हमारी हुई थी, वी ऑल रिमेम्बर, जो उससे पहले के बॉर्न हैं। तो एक आज़ादी की स्वर्णिम मिसाल सारे हिंदुस्तान में हमारी आर्मी ने सर्कुलेट की थी। तो उसके लिए मैसेज आया हमारे पास कि क्या हम उसको हाई कोर्ट में लेके आना चाहेंगे। तो वो इमीडिएटली एग्रीड और यहाँ पे हमने उसका एक फंक्शन किया। बहुत लोगों ने उसको अप्रिशिएट भी किया, बिकॉज सारी चीज़ें रिमाइंड हुई कि कितना सेक्रीफाइस हमारी आर्मी ने, हमारे लोगों ने उस टाइम किया। और जो जनरेशन उसके बाद की है, दे ऑल्सो रियलाइज्ड, उन्होंने भी सुनी जो सब चीज़ें, एक्सपीरियंस शेयर हुए उसमें। उसके बाद 150th ईयर ऑफ द बार का फंक्शन हुआ, वो हिस्टोरिक था यहाँ पे, क्योंकि सेकंड ओल्डेस्ट हाई कोर्ट है। 15 अगस्त को हमने एक फंक्शन किया, वो जो यूनिक था। वो भी हमने उसमें नॉर्थ जोन कल्चरल सेंटर, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी उसका काफ़ी बड़ा सेटअप है, और एक चंद्रशेखर आज़ाद के ऊपर एक ड्रामा किया था। आई थिंक जो भी हमारे जजेस थे, और हमने काफ़ी लोग लोकल भी इनवाइट किए थे उसमें, जो ऑफिसर्स थे, सबने ही उसको एंजॉय किया शायद उस प्रोग्राम को। बहुत अच्छा ड्रामा वो वहाँ पे उन्होंने प्रेजेंट किया था। फिर दूसरा उसी टाइम एक बड़ा हिस्टोरिक मूवमेंट यहाँ पे हुआ, जो हमने हाई कोर्ट के ऊपर 15 अगस्त को लाइटें लगवाई थी। प्रॉब्ली उसकी फोटो आपने म्यूजियम में देखी होगी। और उसका जो इफेक्ट कहो या लोगों को इंटरेस्ट उसमें कहो, कि हम सोच रहे थे कि उसको लाइट को हम शाम को 6-7 बजे ऑन करेंगे और 9 बजे उसको ऑफ कर दें। कितना रश वहाँ पे पब्लिक का रहा, तो प्रोबेबली मेरे को मनोज जी बताते थे या MC भाई ने बताया कि रात को 9-9 बजे क्या 10-11 बजे भी हमारे को लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से टेलीफोन आते थे कि थोड़ा रश कम हो जाएगा, लाइट बंद नहीं करना, हमारे गेस्ट आ रहे हैं, वो देखना चाहते हैं उसको। सो दैट वाज वेरी हिस्टोरिक और बड़ा इवेंटफुल प्लेस हमारी हाई कोर्ट, क्योंकि हमने उसका मेन गेट भी खोल दिया था। तो वी हैड गिवन सम एंट्री इनसाइड द कॉम्प्लेक्स आल्सो, थोड़ा सिक्योरिटी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देख के। और फिर ये धरती जो है, आई थिंक राम जन्मभूमि, कृष्ण जन्मभूमि, तो हिस्टोरिकली या रिलीजियस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तो एक यूनिक प्लेस है मेरे ख्याल कंट्री में। और हाई कोर्ट की जहां एक्सपीरियंस का सवाल है, आई थिंक 4 हाई कोर्ट्स में मैं रहा हूं। इट वाज लाइक ए फैमिली। डे 1 से ही कोई किसी को प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी आपस में, और इसी तरह क्योंकि मिलजुल के काम हुआ तो हम काफी काम कर सके हाई कोर्ट में भी। आइडियाज किसी भी नए चीफ जस्टिस के पास नहीं होते, कुछ थोड़े होंगे एक्सपीरियंस के साथ, पर हर एक जगह की प्रॉब्लम डिफरेंट है। और दिस बीइंग द लार्जेस्ट हाई कोर्ट, यहाँ की प्रॉब्लम्स डिफरेंट हैं और उसके सोल्यूशन भी डिफरेंट है। बिकॉज हमारे चीफ जस्टिस साहब को भी यहाँ पे काम करने का एक्सपीरियंस है, जस्टिस भोसले भी यहाँ पे हैं, तो यहाँ के सोल्यूशन डिफरेंट हैं। मैंने ये देखा कि जो हमारे पास सोल्यूशन पंजाब में थे या जम्मू कश्मीर में या कलकत्ता में थे, वो यहाँ अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते थे। बट स्टिल, क्योंकि सब हमारे सिस्टर ब्रदर्स की बड़ी अच्छी इनपुट और गाइडेंस रही, तो काफी अच्छा काम हम हाई कोर्ट में भी कर सके, दिस आई थिंक। और अगर हम स्टाफ की बात कहें, पूरा सपोर्टिव स्टाफ। टाइमिंग का तो यहाँ पता ही नहीं था कि भाई रात को 9 बजे तक काम कर रहे हैं स्टाफ या 10 बजे, लिस्टिंग की बात हो या वैसे पर्सनल स्टाफ हो, हर एक आदमी काम करने के लिए तैयार था। और उसी के अंदर अगर हम कहें तो काम हमारा एडवोकेट्स की असिस्टेंस के बिना नहीं चल सकता। आई थिंक उस पीरियड में जो भी हमारे बार एसोसिएशन के प्रेसिडेंट और टीम्स रहे हैं दोनों बार की, उनकी तरफ से भी पूरा कोऑपरेशन रहा। आई थिंक दिस इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। कहीं पे भी बार का कोऑपरेशन हो ना हो तो काम नहीं चलता, तो उसका क्रेडिट भी हमारी बार को यहाँ से बहुत जाता है। इसके साथ ही काम हमारा सिर्फ हाई कोर्ट में नहीं है। आई थिंक ये इस स्टेट के अंदर 20% हिंदुस्तान की पॉपुलेशन है और 20% लिटिगेशन भी यही है हिंदुस्तान की, चाहे हम डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट की बात करें चाहे हम हाई कोर्ट की बात करें, क्योंकि हाई कोर्ट में कोई 10.5 लाख केस थे, अब थोड़ा बहुत फर्क हो गया होगा, और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में 1 करोड़ केस थे, जो हिंदुस्तान में कोई 5 करोड़ के करीब है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में हमने उनको एक्शन प्लान दिया, कुछ टारगेट दिए, एंड बड़ी खुशी की बात यह रही कि सेकंड या थर्ड क्वार्टर में जब हमने रिव्यू किया, एवरी क्वार्टर वी यूज्ड टू रिव्यू, किसी एरियाज में किसी सब्जेक्ट में उन्होंने टारगेट से ज्यादा काम ऑलरेडी कंप्लीट कर दिया था। और उसका रिजल्ट ये हुआ कि बहुत सारे हमारे जो पुराने केसेस पड़े थे, 50s के केसेस भी थे बहुत सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स में, उन्होंने डिस्पोज ऑफ किए। तो ये बड़ा इनकरेजमेंट भी रहा, लिटिगेंट को भी थोड़ा पॉजिटिव फील हुआ कि कोर्ट में काम हुआ, हमारा इतने साल से केस पेंडिंग था। तो ये आगे भी मेरी बात हुई, तो उसके बाद भी बड़े पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट्स हैं उसके। तो इससे फायदा ये हुआ कि जो बहुत पुराने केसेस थे वो आई थिंक टेकअप हुए और डिस्पोज ऑफ हुए। और एक बड़ा यूनिक प्रोजेक्ट यहाँ पे जो पार्किंग का और चैम्बर्स का चल रहा है, मेरे ख्याल सारे हिंदुस्तान में भी इतना बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट नहीं होगा, बट एक प्रॉब्लम उससे आ सकती है जो मैंने वहां रह के फील करी है कि चीफ जस्टिस हाउस की प्राइवेसी की प्रॉब्लम आएगी। प्रॉब्लली दे विल हैव टू सी सम सोल्यूशन फॉर दैट, क्योंकि बिल्कुल एडजॉइनिंग है वहां पे। जो बुक रिलीज हो रही है, आई थिंक उसके ऊपर थोड़ा बहुत काम मेरे टाइम में भी हुआ, बट बड़ा यूनिक प्रोजेक्ट है। आई थिंक द मेंबर्स ऑफ द कमेटी नीड्स टोटल एप्रिसिएशन फॉर दिस। कितना टाइम उस पर स्पेंड हुआ है आई कैन अप्रिशिएट, और कितनी कलेक्शन है, 75 अब डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं हमारे, कितना मटेरियल कलेक्ट किया है वो आप म्यूजियम से भी देख सकते हैं। अगर म्यूजियम में देखें कितनी हिस्ट्री है हमारे पास, they need really commendation for that, and that book will be a good resource for research also, अगर आप पढ़ना चाहें हिस्ट्री में या किसी चीज में भी रिसर्च करना चाहें। तो आई थिंक इन शब्दों के साथ मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं हाई कोर्ट का और कमेटी का और एस्टेब्लिशमेंट का कि हमारे को भी इस मूवमेंट में आने का मौका दिया। थैंक यू। जय हिंद।
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, for enlightening us with your precious words. And now may I please request Honorable Mr. Justice V.K. Birla Judge, Allahabad High Court, to please felicitate with bouquet and memento Honorable Mr. Justice D.B. Bhosle, former Chief Justice, Allahabad High Court. May we hear it loud? Thank you. Proceeding ahead with the program, Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Misra graduated with the law degree from the University of Allahabad in 1988 and was enrolled as an advocate on December 12th of the same year. He's a third-generation lawyer with his grandfather, late Shri S.N. Misra, and father, late Shri P.N. Misra, who were both senior advocates of this court. As an advocate, Justice Misra practiced at the Allahabad High Court primarily, focusing on civil, criminal, revenue, and constitutional matters. After 23 years of practice, Justice Manoj Misra was appointed as an additional judge of the Allahabad High Court on November 21, 2011. 2 years later, on August 6, 2013, he was appointed as a permanent judge of the same High Court. Justice Manoj Misra was elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court on February 6, 2023. I heartily welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Misra, Judge, Supreme Court of India, for his kind address. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, Justice Pankaj Mittal, and Justice Rajesh Bindal, my colleagues in the Supreme Court, Justice Ramesh Sinha, Chief Justice, Chhattisgarh High Court, Justice T.K. Upadhyay, Chief Justice, Bombay High Court, Justice Arun Bhansali, Chief Justice, High Court of Allahabad, Justice M.K. Gupta, Senior Judge, Allahabad High Court, Justice M.C. Tripathi, my sister and brother judges of the Allahabad High Court, former Chief Justice, Justice D.B. Bhosle, presidents of both the bar and the other bar members who are present here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a momentous occasion for all of us to have the august presence of our Chief Justice, who had been the Chief Justice of this court for as long as 3 years, but he visited this court again after 8 years. When the invite had come, he was so excited, more like a child, that as if he's visiting his own family. And that excitement, we had a glimpse of that yesterday when he spoke about it. It's an extraordinary situation for this court to develop infrastructure in the last 8 years in a manner where the infrastructure at present is comparable to the best in the country. The convention center and the arbitration center, which has been inaugurated by our chief, is state-of-the-art facility and would go a long way in helping arbitration develop in the region. The need of the hour is to institutionalize arbitration and to regulate the procedures and to ensure proper maintenance of record and availability of the secretarial staff, because judges may be available, but the support system may be lacking unless we have a proper infrastructure. I also congratulate the entire team who had worked for release of the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh. This gives us an insight into the diversity of the culture which we can boast of and be proud of. However, there is a flip side as well, which I would like to say that with me being the member of the infrastructure committee and being the chairman, I used to share private moments with Justice Bindal, who was our Chief Justice. He used to keep us engaged late in the evening, only trying to solve out the problems with which the infrastructure had in the district courts. And we were visited with many orders from the Supreme Court that today a lady has petitioned that there is no washroom available for ladies in Hathras Court. We worked tirelessly and we ensured that instructions are issued and the infrastructure is improved. And I believe there is still a long way to go on that. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, for the warm address. Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, during his days as an advocate, was well known for his writing. His work, The Birth and Life of the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad, which traces the history of the Allahabad High Court, remains widely read even today. His father, late Justice Shri N. Mittal, had also adorned the bench of this court. On July 7, 2006, he was appointed as the additional judge of the Allahabad High Court and became a permanent judge on July 2, 2008. On January 4, 2021, he was elevated as the Chief Justice of the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Subsequently, he was appointed as Chief Justice of the Rajasthan High Court on October 14, 2022. Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal was elevated as Judge of the Supreme Court of India on February 6, 2023. May we kindly listen to His Lordship's warm and kind address. Welcome, sir.
सभी को मेरी नमस्ते. My Lord, the Chief Justice of India, my esteemed brother, judges of the Supreme Court, Shri Justice Arun Bhansali, Chief Justice, High Court of Allahabad, my brother, Justice Ramesh Sinha and D.K. Upadhyay, Chief Justices of the Chhattisgarh and the Bombay High Court, former Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, Justice Bhosle, my former colleagues, President of the Bar Associations, both the associations, my dear friends at the bar, ladies and gentlemen. It is almost after 3 years since I left for Jammu and Kashmir that I am participating in any function, official function of the Allahabad High Court. I am happy to be part of this august gathering and to be in the midst of my former colleagues, both at the bar and the bench. It is a proud moment for me, as well as for all those connected with the Allahabad High Court, as we are having within our midst our own earlier Chief Justice, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, to inaugurate the arbitration center, release the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh, and to inaugurate the Judges Library. I think he is visiting Allahabad for the first time since he left for Delhi in 2016 after successfully hosting the sesquicentennial celebrations of this court. I am overwhelmed to note that once a Chief Justice, always a Chief Justice has proved to be true to me. I am glad our chief guest was my Chief Justice while I was here, and now he is my Chief Justice in the Supreme Court of India. I feel blessed working under his guidance. It fills me with pride today to see the Allahabad High Court celebrate watershed initiatives so as to be more integral part of ever-evolving and technologically equipped justice delivery system. Arbitration has been prevalent in India right from the Vedic era. It has been referred to the referred to in the Bhadra Kanya Upanishad, where Rishi Yajnavalkya had referred to various bodies of arbitration commonly known as panchayats. The disputes were referred to a small group of wise men known as panchayats for resolution. The Privy Council in the case in the year 1934 recognized such arbitration bodies and observed as under that not only is a panchayat quick and inexpensive, but it is also in accordance with the customary law and goes with the morality. So you can understand the importance of the arbitration. In the present day, arbitration is a very powerful tool for dispute resolution, as we cannot expect every kind of dispute to be adjudicated by the courts. The inauguration of the arbitration center at the Allahabad High Court is of great importance and would go a long way in resolving disputes in a time-bound period. I congratulate the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court and his entire team for taking this initiative for setting up an arbitration center. I hope and trust that the Center for Arbitration would be of great assistance in resolving disputes, and it would provide a service base to the arbitrators as well, avoid the arbitral process from becoming adversarial and time-taking, or to be an adjudicating fora. There are about 169 district and outlying courts in Uttar Pradesh. Still, the courts are overburdened. Therefore, establishing an arbitration center will not only help the courts, but would also empower the people to raise their grievances and to get them resolved in a more systematic and simpler manner. Arbitration is also one of the greatest assets of the Indian judiciary, as it helps in creating an approach towards dispute resolution that is more litigant-friendly and less mechanical in nature. It enables the Indian judiciary to touch the grassroots of our society by providing inexpensive and fast dispute resolution system, indicating the march of the judiciary and the country in the right direction of dispensing social, economic, and political justice. Today, probably we are going to have the inauguration of the Judges Library also. Now, if I reflect to the past, I remember how the Judges Library was lying in a precarious condition for over 10 years. There was no space for keeping the books, and the corridors had to be encroached upon and enclosed to make a stopgap part of the library. At times, some rare books got spoiled during rains. Thus, it was the need of the hour to have a proper space for the library. During the sesquicentennial celebrations, the Chief Justice's library was replenished, but the library of the judges continued to be in shambles. I am glad now the cargo of knowledge would be properly laid and placed in the right place, safely and securely. I congratulate the Library Committee, the judges of the High Court, and the Registry for their efforts in getting the new library for the judges. My father inspired me in many ways. One of the ways was to instill in me the practice of visiting libraries. The first thing he made me do when our family shifted to Allahabad was to become life member of the Central Library, the Government Library, as well as the Town Hall Library. He always believed that library is a birthplace for new thoughts and to widen the horizon of vision. He had his own rich library of valuable books of Hindi and English literature. Until recently, I had succeeded in managing the library, known as Mittal Library. But in recent past, due to my permanent shifting to Allahabad and the disposal of my ancestral house Rambatika, I had to dismantle the library and close it by donating the books to the local school libraries. I am proud that my son had picked up the grandfather's interest in libraries, and he has established a law library, Narendralaya, in his name just in front of the High Court, which is open and free to all members of the bar. The book Courts of Uttar Pradesh is very close to my heart. I had taken keen interest in promoting the idea of bringing out this kind of book, highlighting the heritage of district courts, especially those which were established long back. Our then Chief Justice Bhosle took very keen interest and appointed Justice Vikram Nath as the chairman to oversee the publication of this book. Many of the district courts in Uttar Pradesh have great historical background, such as Agra, District Court at Agra, where the High Court of Allahabad first sat in the year 1866. The importance of this book can also be gauged from the fact that it promotes the achievements of the district judiciary, which ordinarily goes unsung. This book would immortalize the work of not only the district court, but the judiciary as a whole. It would be a unique and a valuable collection for any library. I hope and trust that everyone would be immensely benefited by the arbitration center, library, and the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh. I expect to have similar invitations to visit my parent High Court in future, क्योंकि इस अंजुमन में आना है बार बार. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, for your wonderful words full of optimism and inspiration. Thank you so much. It is a special day indeed. The inauguration of the Arbitration Center has already taken place by Honorable the Chief Justice of India. And now it's the moment and time for the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh to be released by His Lordship, Honorable the Chief Justice of India. The book Courts of Uttar Pradesh is an endeavor to showcase the various districts of the state with the district judiciary as the leitmotif. It delineates every district of the state from a historical perspective, outlining the brief history of the district, its socio-cultural and economic significance, eminent personalities of the district, and places of tourist importance in the districts. Intensive research has been carried out to depict the judgeships of all the districts of the states from its inception till today. May this book serve as a source of enlightenment, and may I request Mr. Divakar Dwivedi, presenting officer of the committee, as he has already presented the book to Honorable the Chief Justice of India and to other high dignitaries on the dais. That's a wonderful moment to be captured, timeless moments. All the dignitaries posing for a photograph. Pictures make memories, and memories are timeless treasures of the heart. In the words of Honorable Chief Justice of India, who has written forward to this book, may this book serve as a source of enlightenment, fostering a deep appreciation for Uttar Pradesh's rich heritage and the enduring impact of its courts, members of the bar, and the bench on the jurisprudential landscape of our nation. He has also said the dignity of the district court is linked to the dignity of the citizens. Judicial officers posted in district courts of Uttar Pradesh are the praetorians of justice, and they collectively hold and protect the magistrate of law at the grassroots level. And therefore, a brief description of the 74 district judgeships of Uttar Pradesh is imminent. And may we all know that this has involved years of research. Lord Viscount Hewart has stated in his book on New Despotism that justice must not only be done, but it must also be seen to be done. And that was the moment in time that was captured, and memories that are timeless treasures of the heart. Lovely
The
moment
quality of
indeed.
judicial infrastructure has a significant impact on the delivery of justice. Uttar Pradesh, being the largest state in India, possesses enormous challenges due to its geographical as well as cultural dimensions. Allahabad High Court has been constantly striving to provide state-of-the-art infrastructure to the district courts across the state. as a pilot project 10 districts, namely Auraiya, Amethi, Chandauli, Chitrakoot, Hapur, Hathras, Mahoba, Sonbhadra, Sambhal, and Shamli have been chosen for initial phase. In the proposed layout plan, plot area of 25 acres has been identified, out of which 17 acres would be utilized for non-residential and 8 acres would be utilized for residential purpose. Integrated Courts Complex aims to bring district courts under one roof along with state-of-the-art facilities. The Integrated Court Complex includes state-of-the-art chamber for district judges with retiring rooms, adequate stenographer rooms as well as video conferencing rooms have also been provided. The proposed layout plan would also include multi-level parking, advocates chamber, security block, government pleaders block, public parking, and other relevant blocks. The integrated court complex includes separate dedicated floors for special courts such as family courts, land acquisition courts, commercial courts, motor accident claim tribunal, alternate dispute resolution centers, as well as vulnerable witness deposition center and victim waiting area. The conference room shall also be provided for important meetings with adequate provisions for audiovisual facilities. The integrated court complex provides for separate floors for the courts of additional district judges and civil judges. The integrated court complex provides for a meeting hall with a capacity of 235 persons with state-of-the-art digital infrastructure. The integrated court complex provides for controlled access to campus through separate entry for advocates and visitors. Adequate number of parking space has been proposed. It is estimated that around 3,000 four-wheelers may be parked along with 2,000 two-wheelers at the same time. A separate security block is also provided for constant monitoring of the complex and needs of security personnel. The integrated court complex also consists of adequate number of residences for allocation to district judges and other judicial officers, as well as staff members. In order to ensure a holistic as well as amicable environment, recreation building as well as a club have also been proposed in the complex. The integrated court complex provides for multiple e-filing counters with visitors waiting area, with an objective to enable ease of filing the documents in digital mode. Currently, the integrated court complex project has been proposed for 10 districts of Uttar Pradesh, which would be phase-wise extended to rest of the districts in future. With an aim to provide state-of-the-art infrastructure for district courts, it is expected that the integrated court complex project would prove to be a milestone for access to justice for citizens.
Well, the audio visual displayed a huge building with the state-of-the-art facilities for litigants and lawyers in Allahabad were second to none. The idea of digitizing all our records was in a big way inspired by Honorable Chief Justice of India while he was the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court. And not only that, we have digitized the legacy records, but we are also now digitizing on live files. And it may be noted that today, every case which is instituted is digitized. The much-awaited time has arrived, and this one is for listening to Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud. His Lordship's father, Shri Y.B. Chandrachud, was the 16th Chief Justice of India, and his mother, Srimati Prabha Chandrachud, was a singer for All India Radio, the National Broadcasting Service of India. His Lordship's fascination for aesthetics and determination to uphold the ideals of justice and objectivity can be seen as a gift that he received from his parents. His Lordship graduated from St. Stephen's College in Delhi with a degree in economics and mathematics, and in 1979, before obtaining a bachelor's degree in law from Delhi University in 1982. He compounded his legal education with an LLM from Harvard University in 1983 after obtaining the INLACSA scholarship and received the Joseph H. Bial Prize for securing the highest marks in the conflict of laws course. He stayed at Harvard University until 1986 to complete his doctoral in juridical sciences. On completing his studies, he enrolled as an advocate with the Bar Council of Maharashtra. His lordship's focus on social causes stems from his days as an advocate. His lordship was also visiting professor of comparative constitutional law at the University of Bombay between 1988 and 1997. In 1998, he was designated as a senior advocate in June, despite being only 38 years old, a rare distinction. Further, he was appointed as an additional Solicitor General of India, a position he held until his elevation as a judge of the Bombay High Court on March 29, 2000. After over a decade at the Bombay High Court, Justice Chandrachud was appointed as the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court on October 31st, 2013. He was elevated as a Supreme Court judge on May 13, 2016, and became the 50th Chief Justice of India on November 9, 2022. We have the constitutional duty to protect human dignity. That is what he has said, as it is important as protecting free speech. Now, this bit of change in the program, because I was unaware that 2 more audio visuals were supposed to be played. So I would suggest that after Sir's speech, if it happens, or
Established on 17th of March 1866, the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad is one of the oldest courts in India. Entrusted with the dispensation of justice to the most populous state of the Indian Republic, the court, with a sanctioned strength of 160 judges and a roll of advocates running to 20,000, is now the largest in Asia. New wings and facilities have been added to enable the premises to handle the burgeoning caseload. However, a mere 204 advocates' chambers and negligible on-site parking have, for long, been a major lacuna in infrastructure. Construction of the multi-level parking and advocates' chambers shall obviate this serious shortfall, providing necessary facilities to lawyers and litigants visiting this court seeking justice. This project, with a total built-up area of above 2 million square feet, is designed on a 5.5-acre plot carved out of the existing campus. From the very outset, the design intent has been to respect historic context. Accordingly, the new edifice, with its ornamental peripheral colonnade, references the stately facade of the High Court, while its massing is a tribute to the elegant Palladian design of the original High Court buildings on Queen's Road. 4-lane access connects the extensive basement of the complex to Kanpur Road, and an elevated corridor with travelators connects the complex to other buildings within the court's premises. The basement and 6 levels of parking above accommodate nearly 2,300 cars and 1,500 two-wheelers. A further 6 floors house nearly 2,300 two-seater air-conditioned advocates' chambers and canteens for 900 persons, while an expansive library occupies the 12th floor. Within, 2 sets of ramps ensure smooth movement of vehicles, while 15 staircases, 24 lifts, and 26 escalators accommodate pedestrian traffic. Daylight and natural ventilation to the chambers is ensured by the 12 courtyards punctuating the deep floor plate. State-of-the-art infrastructure, ample amenities, parking management systems, fire protection, and security systems complete the building ensemble. The project has been finalized after detailed discussion with the project consultant engaged through an international design competition, and the construction contract with 27 months duration has been awarded through competitive bidding. With its unique blend of technology, tradition, and contextual design, the multi-level parking and advocates' chambers, once complete, would substantially cater to the needs of lawyers, litigants, and the common man, greatly strengthening the cause of dispensation of justice. and enhancing the cityscape of Prayagraj.
In addition to the multi-level chambers and parking, which is coming up for advocates, the court has also proposed construction of Vadkari Khand and an additional court complex. The proposed Vadkari Khand would be a 7-storied building consisting of basement, ground floor, and 5 floors, provisioning adequate space for visitors' pass office, photo affidavit office, public waiting area for 1,000 persons with necessary amenities, case filing center, registrar's offices, high court dispensary, creche, bank, and post office. The building shall add on a total of 180,000 square feet built up area in the court premises. The second project, which is proposed, is an additional court complex to be constructed on the space which currently is occupied by the Advocates' Chamber. The building, which is proposed, is likely to accommodate 20 new court halls and 40 chambers for the judges. In addition to it, the building will also provide substantial space for the registry and its offices, as well as parking. Once these additional constructions are put in place, much of the shortage of infrastructure with the Allahabad High Court would stand cured. Digitization of court records of Allahabad High Court was envisioned in the year 2015 by the then Honorable the Chief Justice, Dr. Justice Dhananjaya Yashwant Chandrachud, presently Honorable the Chief Justice of India. Approximately 1 crore judicial files containing more than 50 crore pages were targeted to be digitized, and it was successfully achieved with digitization of 48 crore pages of more than 71 lakh case files. Consequent upon the success of digitization project at High Court, after destruction of physical files, huge vacant space has been created, which is being used for fruitful purposes. After the digitization of legacy case records, the digitization of fresh case files has also started at Allahabad and at Lucknow bench. More than 1.35 lakh fresh case files, consisting of more than 1 crore pages, have been digitized as on date. The plan of digitization of pending case files is also in pipeline. The digitization of the legacy case records of the district courts of Uttar Pradesh has also started, as per the guidelines laid down in the Standard Operating Procedure 1.1 of the Honorable E-Committee, Supreme Court of India. It is estimated that more than 3.5 crore legacy case files containing more than 500 crore pages would be digitized. The work of digitization of legacy case records was started at the District Court Prayagraj as a pilot project in the month of August 2023. After successful completion of the pilot project, the digitization work has started in full-fledged manner at the District Court Prayagraj in October 2023. Thereafter, the digitization project has been extended to 10 more district courts in October 2023. Presently, the digitization project has been extended to all the district courts across the state. As on date, more than 4.5 lakh case files containing around 6.9 crore pages have been scanned, and it is expected that daily scanning rate will rise exponentially due to phase-wise extension of the project. Considering the huge case load across the state of Uttar Pradesh, managing the judicial data is a challenge. A setup like data center would provide for secure and permanent storage, for which 15,000 square feet space has been identified. In order to ensure optimum bandwidth, implementation of cloud services has also been planned, along with novel technologies like software-defined wide area network technology. The digitization project has resulted into generation of huge amount of data at High Court as well as district courts. Till date, 32 terabyte data has been generated for case files at High Court and 31 terabyte for case pages at district court. It is estimated that for legacy case records, around 3 petabyte data would be generated, which excludes fresh and pending cases. An automated system for district posting allocation has been developed and successfully implemented in December 2023 for the posting of newly recruited civil judges without human intervention. The civil judges were allocated districts in different district courts of the state of Uttar Pradesh. The software based on randomization in this regard has been developed in-house so as to eliminate any human intervention in allocation of station of posting.
Thank you so much. So the AVs, audiovisuals, they were about advocates, chambers and parking, integrated court complex and digitization. And now it's a moment in time to invite our very dear Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, to please address this august gathering by his lordship's enlightening words. Dynamic, determined, focused, creative, upholding the ideals of equality, truth, and justice. Sir, may I very humbly, warmly, respectfully invite your lordship.
Honorable Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, Justice Arun Bansali, my very dear and respected colleagues, Justice Pankaj Mittal, Justice Manoj Mishra, Justice Rajesh Bindal, Chief Justices now who have migrated away from the Allahabad High Court, but whose heart, I'm sure, is in Allahabad, just like my heart is in Allahabad. Justice Ramesh Sinha, Justice Deven Upadhyay, Justice Manoj Gupta, Justice MC Tripathi, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, President of the Advocates Association, Shri Ashok Singh, President of the Bar Association, senior advocates, all of you gave me so much of my learning, which has made me what I am today. Listening to you, all the members of the bar, members of the registry, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I shouldn't speak from a prepared text for this morning and speak from the heart for a few moments. The initiatives which we showcase today reflect both on the past and the present of the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. They reflect on the position of this High Court in the life not only of the state of Uttar Pradesh, but of the entire nation. They represent a vision for the future. So in coining all that we have done in terms of the infrastructure for this great High Court, in preparing the book called The Courts of Uttar Pradesh, we dwell on what Uttar Pradesh is today as a legacy of what happened in the past and the past on which we have built so much, the past which we have discarded to a certain extent, because all our courts began in the legacy of the colonial period. The colonial period reminds us that law can be used as an instrument of justice, but it can be also used as an instrument of oppression and injustice. It depends on whose hands the law is wielded. You had the same Indian Penal Code, which was used from 1860 and which we still use today until the new legislation is enforced. But the same law which was used to jail the freedom fighters, to torture the opponents of the regime, is hopefully being used today to protect the rights of citizens in the hands of an able bar, which we have in the Allahabad High Court, fiercely independent lawyers, judges who have come from the bar and from the services, who use that law to dilute the rigors of the power of the state. So this is clearly a reminder to us that it is for our generation today to ensure that the excesses of the past, most of them prior to independence, but many of them even after independence, such as during the years of the emergency, are not replicated against in free India. These initiatives today are also the product of people who have gone before the present generation. I know that Justice Bhosle, who is here, was the moving spirit behind Courts of India when he constituted the committee during his tenure as the Chief Justice. Justice Bhosle is truly a people's man. As Brother Mishra was telling me, he is always present for every important occasion of the Allahabad High Court. I have to learn something from his book because I'm coming back after 8 years. But 8 years was too long for me. So what we are unveiling today represents our vision for the future of the Allahabad High Court. Let me briefly dwell with each of these initiatives and share a few thoughts which I have today. We have inaugurated the Arbitration Center of the Allahabad High Court. We have provided a venue for the arbitrations to take place. For those of you who have done little work on arbitration, you know the distinction between the venue of an arbitration and the seat of the arbitration. What we have provided is an efficient venue for arbitration. But is this center only a venue for arbitration? Arbitrators otherwise go and sit in 5-star hotels. They go and sit in centers for arbitration. To my mind, the setting up of the arbitration center at Allahabad is venue plus, to use today's terminology. Of course, it provides a venue. It provides a place where people can come and congregate. And in providing that beautiful space, I must compliment all the judges of the Allahabad High Court, the people in the Public Works Department who have collaborated with the High Court in setting up the center. We have conference rooms, we have huddle rooms, we have a locker room, a cafeteria, everything that is required for a day of arbitration. But there's something more. And that is where I would like you to develop this whole concept. First and foremost, I'm extremely pleased to learn that the name of the center is not the High Court of Judicature Allahabad Arbitration Center. It's called the Arbitration Center Prayagraj. Why? What is the significance of it? Is it just another name? No. Calling it the Arbitration Center of the High Court would give the impression that it is an arm of the Allahabad High Court. That it's an arm of the state because we are not part of the government, but we are all part of the state, the nation state. The business community in particular always has some reservations when arbitration is associated with the imprimatur or the stamp of the state. Because the essence of arbitration is party autonomy, the independence of parties. That's why they choose their own judges. In the High Court or in the Supreme Court, our lawyers don't choose the judge. They will appear before. Though I've also found that there is a bit of forum shopping which goes on. But lawyers don't choose the judge. In arbitration, litigants choose their own arbitrators by nominating their own arbitrators because they have faith in those arbitrators. And the presumption is that arbitrators who are nominated by litigants are not their mouthpieces. That is simply theoretically the foundation of arbitration. So the idea of having an arbitration center called the Prayagraj Arbitration Center is to truly indicate that this is a center of arbitration which is not dependent either on financing or support from the High Court, so the High Court stands behind this initiative. We as judges are facilitators. We stand behind this initiative. But in creating this venue, we also want to create a process of arbitration which is efficient. Efficient in terms of cost, efficient in terms of timelines for arbitrations. If arbitrations were to take as long as a suit takes in a court, then why would people go to arbitration? If they have to spend as much as they have to spend in a suit, why would they go to arbitration? Setting up this center is also a sign of accountability, that arbitrators have to be accountable to the community whom they serve. They can't be accountable if they sit for 2 hours and charge the fee for the whole day. I know I have been criticized for having interpreted the fourth schedule to the Arbitration and Conciliation Act as imposing a cap of 30 lakhs on the fees which arbitrators can charge. Our mission in literally interpreting the provisions of the statute was to ensure that this is what Parliament has laid down. If you want to alter the provisions which have been made by Parliament, Parliament is free to do so. But we also said that you can charge for a counterclaim and a claim separately, because a counterclaim is a separate suit. One of my learned brothers felt a little differently on counterclaims. So we are not just replacing one form of dispute resolution, namely resolution in court, with another form of dispute resolution, namely court-style resolution in the hands of arbitrators. In the choice of arbitrators, many of the arbitrators, most of the arbitrators today are retired judges who, of course, do a remarkable job. All of them are very highly experienced. But let us look beyond just judges in the canvas of arbitration. And that is where I want to appeal to all the learned and respected senior members of the bar who are present here. Many members of the bar do not become judges for a variety of fortuitous circumstances. Maybe you are not asked at the right time. Maybe a person whom you felt is a competitor got elevated to the bench a little before you. Maybe there were family circumstances bearing on economic resources. Many people join the bar late because they have had to combat personal difficulties in the early part of their lives when they took jobs somewhere else, and when the situation stabilized financially for the family, they took to the bar. So they didn't become judges for a variety of reasons. But the wealth of experience which our senior members of the bar have today can surely be contributed in the arbitration space. When I have to impose costs in the Supreme Court, I'm always very wary because my assessment of costs is very different from what the realistic costs today of litigation are. Very often when I impose costs, the lawyers laugh and they say, please allow us to give you a realistic assessment of costs. So you as members of the bar know the feel of reality on the ground, which we as judges over a point of time, over a period of time may not necessarily have. And I do believe that by setting up the arbitration center, we can encourage more and more members of the bar to contribute to the arbitration space. We can train the younger members of the bar. This will be a training ground for them to become judges of the High Court in future. I have found, for instance, that when I appoint a lawyer in their 30s or then their early 40s as arbitrators, many of them complete the arbitration in record time efficiently as a call of duty to the court. So in the choice of arbitrators, let us broaden the canvas of arbitration by getting people who are acceptable, engineers, chartered accountants, young members of the bar, senior members of the bar. Because these are people who have the voice of the community, who have the faith of the community. So all in all, so far as the arbitration center is concerned, it is important now to frame rules for the arbitration center. Create a society which will be professionally managed and professionally run. And the entire arbitration center should be handed over to a professional body of persons consisting of judges, consisting of lawyers, consisting of eminent citizens of Prayagraj who have distinguished themselves in different walks of life, so that by professionalizing this center for arbitration, we will indicate that as judges of the High Court, we stand behind this center. Of course, this is all due to the vision of today's judges. But while we stand behind this initiative, the success of the initiative will lie in how much we really are able to professionalize arbitration within the state of Uttar Pradesh. Brother Bindal rightly mentioned how much it will be used is a moot point. But let us also remember that we are today using a facility. The premises of the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad were set up over 100 years ago. So those who created that infrastructure had the vision to create infrastructure which could be used even 100 years later. So when Justice Bindal and his committee decided that instead of having a VIP guest house, we will have an arbitration center, this has been done with a great amount of foresight. Irrespective of how much it is used today, we have created a seed for the future. Uttar Pradesh is attracting investment. As the state grows from a predominantly agrarian economy into a market-based industrial economy, there will be bound to be more and more trade, commerce, investment coming into the state. And trade, commerce, and investment relies on certainty. It relies on the rule of law. It relies on the existence of objective standards for dispute resolution. In creating this, we are sending the message across to the community that what happened in the more developed states like Maharashtra or Karnataka or elsewhere in the country is now being replicated in terms of infrastructure and rule of law, which will sustain the confidence of our communities in the new horizon which we would like to create for this state. So I compliment everyone who has been associated with this new infrastructural growth in the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. The second aspect which I want to stress upon today is the importance of the infrastructure which is being created for the district judiciary. The district judiciary truly is the cornerstone of the administration of justice in every state in the country. The district judiciary is the first point of contact when a citizen has a problem, whether she has a dispute about maintenance, whether she's been thrown out of her house by in-laws and she has to seek a remedy under the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act, or when senior citizens have to move for securing their own rights in the face of a family. So the district judiciary is the first point of interface of our citizens. But here I have a few concerns which I must share with you. My first concern is the large pendency of criminal appeals. Brother Mishra, Brother Manoj Mishra, Brother Pankaj Mittal, Brother Vikram Nath and I, all of us belong to the judiciary in Allahabad. We all belong to Allahabad. Some of us may have different birthmarks. My birthmarks go to Maharashtra, but I belong to Allahabad as well as I do belong now as the Chief Justice to the entire nation. Across our court, judges constantly voice this concern. Why is it that criminal appeals are taking so long to decide? Why is it that the bar is very eager to decide questions involving bail but not willing to argue criminal appeals? I think all of us need to sit together to resolve this issue, because this is doing disservice to our state, the large pendency of criminal appeals. This is not undoable. This is not a situation which has gone out of control. Several other states in India, including the state of Tamil Nadu, had the same problem which we have today, but they found solutions to the problem. Now, what happens because of the large pendency of criminal appeals, particularly in the High Court, is that judges are compelled to grant bail, particularly in the Supreme Court, no matter how heinous the offense is, because of the realization that if you don't grant bail today, the person will probably die in jail or have served out the sentence by the time that the criminal appeals comes up. That's not good for the system either, because you no longer just look at the rights of the accused, you also look at the victims of crime. But we as judges have no choice but to grant bail for the simple reason that we realize that these appeals will never come or see the light of the day. But this has another consequence, which is of equal greater concern to me, which is the inability of our courts to grant bail to under trials. Repeatedly in the Supreme Court, and I am not giving you Newtonian science, small offenses, petty offenses where people have been in jail for 1.5, 2 years as under trials, they run to the Supreme Court to grant bail. We have dealt with cases where an FIR has been stayed by the Supreme Court, but the accused is not granted bail for over 2 years thereafter. And people are before us asking, please grant me bail. Now, there is a fear psychosis in our district judiciary. And I'm sure both the judges and the members of the bar will agree with me. And I'm not being critical at all. How can I be critical? I'm here because of my life as a lawyer, and I'm here because of my life as a judge. So I'm not being critical, but I'm asking you to introspect. Why is the district judiciary so fearful about granting bail? The district judiciary is fearful about granting bail because over a period of time, we have created a culture of subordination between the high courts and the district judiciary. We have not created a footing of equality between the district judges and the high courts. You know, the whole process of inspection, the administrative judge, it wreaks fear in the minds of the district judges. When you look at the young judges who are joining the district judiciary, and in my tenure as Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, I traveled across the state. I found a marked difference. The younger generation of judges in the district judiciary, so bright, so full of hope. They would talk to you as if they were talking to a friend or a member of the family. The more senior judges, so sober, so quiet, so withdrawn. You had to draw them into a conversation. They would be very reluctant to speak to you. So that shows you the difference between the young and the old, in the senior in the district judiciary. I think that has to change, and the duty to do that lies on us as judges. So this culture of subordination has to change. We are having a conference in Kutch in the next few weeks, where we are inviting about 150 to 200 district judges from all over the country to talk to me and my two senior-most colleagues about what the district judiciary feels needs to be done for them. We want to hear their voices, and hopefully we will have a conference thereafter in the Supreme Court, having about 800 or 1,000 district judges from all over the country. The idea is to hear their voices, allow them to speak, allow them to tell us without a sense of fear. I'm very happy to know that the infrastructure of the district judiciary is going to be improved by having 10 integrated court complexes in 10 different states, in 10 different districts in Uttar Pradesh. Our court should not be known by the reeky old infrastructure, by the absence of toilets for women, by the absence of facilities. You'll be surprised. I was administrative judge of Kolhapur years ago, when I was a judge of the Bombay High Court. When I went there, I was told that there was one toilet for women judges in the entire district court in Kolhapur. If they had to use that toilet, they had to go past a corridor where all the under-trials and convicts who came to court for the hearings of their cases were sitting. And the women judges told me that we feel so awkward to pass them and then go to the toilet that the senior district judge women, the ADJs, told me that these girls leave home at about 8 o'clock in the morning. The next time they use the toilet is at 6 o'clock in the evening when they go home. This reflects the reality of our system. Therefore, in the Supreme Court, we have tried to attend to this by creating toilets for women, by ensuring that every toilet for women has a sanitary napkin dispenser. How are we going to create a working space for women which is accessible, which is welcoming of them? In many states, including Uttar Pradesh, the new recruits to the district judiciary, over 50% are women. The new lawyers who are coming into our system because of the spread of education. Yesterday, we inaugurated the first session of the Rajendra Prasad National Law University at Prayagraj. So we have 2 national law universities today, with a large number of women coming into the legal profession. Young women are being encouraged by parents to come into the legal profession. Many of them are joining the district judiciary because the district judiciary gives them secure conditions of work. You don't have to face the uncertainties of private practice at the bar. But it is our duty then to create conditions of work, dignified conditions of work for them, so that they can flourish as members of the district judiciary. Recently, I've been dealing together with Justice Pardiwala and Justice Manoj Mishra with issues pertaining to the revision of the conditions of service of the district judiciary. Though a new pay commission would now be set up and would be looking into the conditions of service of the officers of the central government, and thereafter, of course, the states will follow, we are still in the process of implementing the previous recommendations of the pay commission, of our judicial pay commission. We have now provided a timeline for the payment of arrears of salary, the arrears of allowances. But most importantly, and that's what I want to highlight, we have also directed the setting up of a permanent mechanism for overseeing the implementation of recommendations for the district judiciary in every state. A simple thing. Judges from the district judiciary in Uttar Pradesh came to the Supreme Court and they got up, just 2 or 3 judges got up and say a few things. And they said that we have one small issue. If hospitals have to be identified for giving cashless treatment, usually tenders are invited because you have to go for the L1 bidder. The L1 bidder is usually a person who wants to, a hospital who wants to work on volume and not on quality. So the L1 bidder will be usually a hospital which will cut the corners in the medical treatment so long as you get the contract by being the lowest bid. They said, sir, this has to change because nobody has faith in those hospitals across the districts. We have to ensure that our district judges, their families, their parents who are dependent on them, our retired judges, are able to have proper medical treatment. Because you require medical treatment only in your later years of life, generally speaking, though there are, of course, exceptions to that rule. So we have set up a permanent mechanism to ensure that proper medical facilities are available to the members of the district judiciary. These are crucial initiatives. And I think it's important that members of the bar are also involved in appearing before the court. Some of the best ideas which I get when we are dealing with issues pertaining to the district judiciary are from young members of the bar, be it from Uttar Pradesh, be it from Bihar, be it from Madhya Pradesh, be it from other states, who come to us and tell us what the state of the judiciary is. Recently, the Supreme Court has brought out a compilation called The State of the Judiciary. And we have tried to make an outreach. For very long, we in the judiciary have tried to suppress the true facts relating to the judiciary, thinking that it will portray us in a bad light. My view is exactly the contrary. It is when we point out facts pertaining to the judiciary, to the nation at large, that the state of affairs within the judiciary itself will improve. So whether it be in terms of bringing out a Supreme Court Chronicle, every month the Supreme Court of India now brings out a Supreme Court Chronicle, which is also being translated into Hindi. The idea is to tell the nation, what is it that the Supreme Court does? What is it that the judges of the Supreme Court do? We communicate in terms of important judgments which are pronounced during the course of the month. But I also request my colleagues to share with the Center for Research and Planning all the legal aid initiatives which they do, the lectures which our judges deliver, the camps which they attend. Because let the community know the nature of the work which judges do. You know, all of us are criticized for the vacations which we have. They all say, inko chitti bahut zyada milti hai. People don't understand that judges work all 7 days of the week. Our district judges work every single day. Even on Saturdays and Sundays, they have to do legal aid camps or do have to do other administrative work. But why does the community not know this? The community does not know this because we do not reach out to the community. We feel that as judges, we should not be part of the community because our independence may be affected. True, we don't mix around with people who have cases before us, which is correct, to preserve our own independence. But the times when we should stand away from the community have changed. Today we live in times where communication is the mantra. Whether it is a social media, whether it is WhatsApp, whether it is a messaging service, we today live in an age of communication. And as part of the judiciary, we cannot be left behind in this new world of communication. We have to imbibe that world of communication, not at an individual level. Individual judges should not be putting out things in the social media. but we must institutionalize the process. In the Supreme Court of India, we have now set up a communications division. The idea behind setting up a communications division in the Supreme Court of India was because of a popularly held feeling on the part of journalists, on the part of other citizens, that if we have to have information about the Supreme Court, whom do we access? If we do not have a point of access to information, then information about the courts is usually obtained behind the doors or behind the scenes. And then the information is garbled, it is half-hearted, it does not reflect the entirety of the truth. So therefore, we as courts need to reorientate ourselves. We need to reorientate our way of thinking. We also have to be careful about the pitfalls. As you all know, we are now live streaming of cases, which is being shown on the YouTube. But live streaming of cases on YouTube also places new burdens on us. In the earlier years, what we said in the court was only seen and heard by 50 people or 100 people in the court. Now what you say or hear in the court is relayed to the entire nation and beyond. So that places a very great burden on judges to be correct in what you speak, to be very careful in off-the-cuff remarks, because everything that is said by us can be interpreted and misinterpreted and is being interpreted and misinterpreted constantly. So it requires more training on the part of judges, for judges to understand what the new demands of the system place upon them. Last part I want to dwell very briefly, and then I'll be done, which is on technology and justice. I want to really tell you, all of you, that technology is not really a new-fangled idea of this Chief Justice who has interest in technology. What is the idea behind technology as part of the justice delivery mechanism? All the showcasing that you saw by the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad, I'm so glad to know that the digitization project which I initiated in 2015 has grown so much. You'll be surprised that when we took over that building just behind the Allahabad High Court and went into the basement, on the first day, Justice Dilip Gupta and I were told, please don't go inside the basement because we have found snakes in that basement. We were told that the basement cannot be restored because the water table in Allahabad is much higher. And I said, well, they construct tunnels across the sea. Why are we talking about not having to use the basement? And we have proved what can be done when you apply your mind to it. But what is the idea behind all this? Why digitize files? Why have live streaming? Why have paperless courts? Is it just to sort of make the court processes more tech savvy? No. The idea of doing all this in a technology-friendly way is to make us first more efficient as judges, but most important, to take the work which we do to the lives of our citizens. And technology is a very key instrument in ensuring that the work which we do does not remain aloof from the community, but takes it right to the heart of the community. So when we set up e-Seva Kendras, as I've been propounding all over the state, we ensure that the digital divide which exists in our country even today, the poorest of the poor, the marginalized who come to our courts seeking access to justice for the acquisition of a small piece of land, they are not deprived of technology or access to justice because they don't have an Android phone or a smartphone. So the idea behind setting up e-Seva Kendras is to ensure that all the services under the e-courts project are available to every citizen, that nobody suffers because of a want of digital divide. In my court, in the Supreme Court, every file is digitized. We do not have paper in the Supreme Court. When we decided the Article 370 issue several months ago, the total record was probably in excess of 30 to 35,000 pages, all available at a click of a button. Imagine 5 judges trying to seek volume 45 of 500 pages and being constantly handed over these volumes when the arguments were going on. Instead, each of us had all the volumes open on one screen. And when the lawyers shift from volume to volume, All that we do is that we switch from one window to the other. And I'm so happy to tell you that even senior colleagues who are on the verge of retirement were so eager to adopt technology because they felt that this was their opportunity to be equal with the younger generations, both in the family and beyond, that they are themselves able to access technology. For the senior members of the bar who are present here, I always encourage senior members of the bar, please start using your iPads, please start using your laptops. It will be so much easier for you. Technology does not make your life difficult, it makes your life simple. And increasingly, I've been finding all the youngsters at the bar are tech savvy, but even the senior members of the bar are now imbibing technology as a part of their functioning and work. So we have e-filed the files. We have an e-filing module in place in the Supreme Court. We are digitizing all our files. Most importantly, the files which are digitized and are now available in the electronic form are given to the lawyers so that the lawyers and the judges are on the same page when they address arguments before the court. We have the Suswagatam portal, which we launched recently in the Supreme Court. So all passes to come to the Supreme Court, which is a high security zone generally, all passes are now available online. You don't have to wait and queue up in line to get a pass to come to the Supreme Court. All the formalities, including your identity document or whatever that you have to upload, you just upload the details and you get a pass online. So some of these hybrid hearings have been a potent source of social transformation. Because I believe that with hybrid hearings, the Supreme Court has ceased to be the Supreme Court of Tilak Marg, and it has truly become the Supreme Court of India. When I have a young lawyer addressing us from Kochi, or a young lawyer who appears before us from another part of the country, I feel that this is really the opening up of the democratic space of the Supreme Court for lawyers from all over the country. And why is it important? At a certain level, it's important because we are fostering confidence in the members of the bar and the litigants. The lawyers in the district, the lawyers in the High Court have the immediate contact with the client. When the client goes up to them and they have conducted the case for several years, and if they were to argue the case before us in the Supreme Court, that lawyer has a sense of satisfaction that my lawyer who knew my case has now been able to present my argument before the Supreme Court. And I dare say the same before the High Courts. Therefore, I've been constantly appealing to the High Courts, please don't shut down the infrastructure which we created during the COVID-19 pandemic. Infrastructure for technology was meant and used in COVID-19, but it has to last longer. Let us not stop e-filing. Let us not stop hybrid hearings. You'll be surprised with the number of women who appear today through hybrid hearings. And the reason why women appear through hybrid hearings is because you don't have to wait all day waiting for your case to reach. Women perform multiple responsibilities at home, which men should be. Many of them do perform it, but women traditionally in our society perform so many different roles. So by creating the space for hybrid hearings, we have allowed women to participate in an equal measure in the workforce of the legal profession and the bar. So all in all, I'm so happy with all these initiatives which have been launched today by the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. It truly marks the progression of Prayagraj into becoming a model for the judiciary across the nation. Earlier, when I was the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, we used to send our judges to see the initiatives which were launched in different parts of the country, a new judicial academy, a new digitization program, a new arbitration center. I'm sure with this now, judges from other parts of the country will be coming to Allahabad to model their institutions on what we are doing over here. Last and not the least, I want to tell you that if I've spoken from my heart on some critical issues which concern the judiciary, it is not out of a sense of criticism. I owe everything to Allahabad. When I came here, I was a completely urban-born and urban-bred product from a city like Mumbai. I'd of course spent a part of my formative years in Delhi. But I was predominantly an urban-centric and urban-born product. So my attitude as a judge, my vision as a judge, my knowledge as a judge was shaped by what I learned in my birth state, if I may call it that, Maharashtra. When I came to the heartland of India, Uttar Pradesh, I looked at the country in a very different light. I saw the woes of farmers in a different light while dealing with the sugarcane cases. I would see land litigation in a very different light after I sat with very experienced judges understanding the nuances of the ZA and LR Act. I looked at motor accidents cases very differently when I sat with colleagues who had a bearing about the nature of income and income earning capacities in our districts in Uttar Pradesh. So UP in that sense really gave me a completely different insight into the life of the nation, for which I will always remain grateful to you. When I came here, I was told, be careful about the bar in Uttar Pradesh. The lawyers can be a little aggressive. But when I came here, I found that the lawyers were so kind. They were so respectful. They were so welcoming. And they were willing to accept the slightly younger Chief Justice from Maharashtra who had some new ideas to give to them. But one thing which I realized was that if you're objective, the lawyers would accept any verdict that you handed down to them. I particularly used to appreciate the senior members of the bar who would argue a very contested case, maybe in the law of education or cooperative societies or whatever, or labor. After you sort of raised your hand and indicated that I want to now call the steno and dictate my judgment, the lawyers would sit down with grace. The more busy of them would tell you that, may I go to the next court? My case is being called out in another court. And I would say, please go ahead and I'll dictate the judgment in your absence over here. So coming here was a very great surprise for me, because everything that I was warned against when I came to Allahabad proved to be untrue. And I had my own experiences of a very happy 3 years that I spent here in the company of all of you. I, of course, had my fair share of 2 or 3 strikes, but I also learned from some of those strikes as well. I also learned the big secret that never allow a strike to continue for very long, because the strike begins on one issue and ends on some other issue. So happy years here, a lot of learning in the company of judges. I'm so happy that many of the judges with whom I had the pleasure of hearing as lawyers are now adorning the bench. I find it a great sense of satisfaction that they are all doing so well here in the Allahabad High Court. I always tell my colleagues in the Supreme Court that before you assess or evaluate an order of the Allahabad High Court, please understand the pressure under which that order is written. Pressure in terms of the volume of work, no other pressure, just the volumes. Everything in technological terms is scaled up in Allahabad. If a judge in some other high court has to hear 10 anticipatory bails a day, a judge in Allahabad has to hear probably that 10 raised to the power of God knows how many. So wishing you all the best. Thank you very much for inviting me here. And I hope to be here again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of India, for your brilliant words. They were so enriching, full of vision, and I guess helpful for each one of us, because I'm taking from you imbibing communication with caution. I'm taking from you importance of e-filing and hybrid hearings. I've penned down something for you, Your Lordship, a warrior of his strength, infusing his pen with the ink of his ethics, refining his profession with the grace of his novelty, flow a smooth cascade of words and thoughts, redefining his purpose to fair objectivity. I think Lordship deserves a very big clap, round of applause, so inspiring, full of hope and optimism. A moment has the power to inspire. A moment has the power to instill hope. A moment has the power to create and recreate history. and this day would always stand tall in the pages of history. May I now very humbly and warmly invite Honorable dear Mr. Justice Manoj Kumar Gupta, Senior Judge, Allahabad High Court, to please propose his vote of thanks. Sir.
Good afternoon. It is indeed a privileged occasion to be chronicled in the annals of the history of Allahabad High Court, and I consider it to be my proud privilege to have this opportunity to express my gratitude and extend this vote of thanks to all of you on this auspicious occasion of the inauguration of the book titled Courts of UP, an Arbitration Center and Judges Library in the precincts of this High Court. At the very outset, I extend my vote of thanks to Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, who is humbleness personified and has been kind enough to write a foreword for the book Courts of Uttar Pradesh and readily accepted the invitation for this event from his overbusy schedule and graced this occasion with his august presence. I take this moment and occasion to recall those yesteryears when I had the opportunity and privilege to share the bench with Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud when he was the Chief Justice of this court. A judge par excellence, immense intellectual ability and administrative acumen, Justice Chandrachud is a stellar personality in the legal arena. Today's function with the Chief Justice of India as the chief guest has perpetuated cherished memories for all times to come. And I once again thank you, sir, for making this occasion monumental by your gracious presence. I also extend my vote of thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, who has been kind enough to join this august gathering and make this moment special. Heartfelt thanks and gratitude is also expressed to Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Mishra, who was humbly agreed to add luster to this program by his gracious presence. In the same vein, I extend a vote of thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, who has been the Chief Justice of this court and who has humbly joined us at this memorial and a special occasion. I also express a vote of thanks to other guests and dignitaries, including the former Chief Justice of this court, Justice D.B. Bhosle, Chief Justice Bombay High Court, Justice D.K. Upadhyay, Chief Justice Chhattisgarh High Court, Justice Ramesh Sinha, and other former judges of this court who have readily accepted our invitation and agreed to grace this occasion with their benevolent and unique presence. The Allahabad High Court profoundly hails, recognizes, and appreciates the role of all stakeholders who were instrumental in making the book titled Courts of Uttar Pradesh a living reality. No human effort can succeed until unless it is a cohesive, joint, and collective effort of all associates and participants. This book, Courts of Uttar Pradesh, precisely resonates with the above observation of cohesion and esprit de corps, and the High Court humbly acknowledges the collective endeavor of all those who have assiduously involved with this book from its inchoate stage till fruition. I am grateful to our Chief Justice of this court who has led from the front and extended all support and encouragement in making this function a great success. I also express my gratitude towards the members of the committee for the book, especially Justice Anjani Kumar Mishra, Justice Sumit Dayal Singh, Justice Jayant Banerjee, Justice Abdul Moin, and Justice Ajay Bhanot. And I must put it on record that without their relentless effort, teamwork, and active contribution, this book could not have got completed. I am also grateful to the chairman of the library committee, Justice Sumit Dayal Singh, and other members whose dedication and efforts have paved the way for this world-class judges library in this court. The hard work of the members of the arbitration committee was really commendable, and I profoundly thank them for their active support and endeavors. I also thank Mr. Justice M.C. Tripathi, Mr. Justice Vivek Birla, Mr. Justice Ashwini Kumar Mishra, Mr. Justice Siddharth Verma, and all my esteemed colleagues who worked day in and out on every minute detail to ensure success of the program. I also thank the Registrar General of this court, Shri Rajiv Bharti, for his energetic efforts and coordination skills. The role of Shri Kunal Vepa, Presiding Officer, MACT, Gautam Budh Nagar, is also highly appreciated and acknowledged by this court, who was instrumental in finalizing the articles of this book and also penned an article for this publication. The role of Mr. Brahm Tej Chaturvedi, ADJ Mathura, and Shri Divakar Dwivedi, presenting officer for this book, is also acknowledged. The court is also grateful to the Judicial Training and Research Institute, Lucknow, team of young lawyers, and staff of the registry for their endeavors. I also deeply thank the Bennett Coleman and Company Limited, the official publishers of this book, for their technical and non-technical staff for giving a platform to this book. Now, as I conclude my vote of thanks, I once again deeply thank the Chief Justice of India and other dignitaries whose presence at this occasion has created indelible memories in the history of this court. I am also grateful to the President Bar Association, Shri Ashok Singh, President Advocates Association, Shri Pradeep Kumar, Secretary Bar Association, Shri Nitin Sharma, Secretary Advocates Association, Shri D.R. Chaudhary, all the office bearers, senior advocates, and members who have the enlightened bar of this court. I also thank the members of the print and electronic media for extensively and comprehensively covering this event. I am also grateful to the officers of the registry and ministerial staff of this court who have worked tirelessly to make this event a success. Lastly, I, on behalf of this court, the Chief Justice, and my esteemed colleagues, and also on my behalf, profoundly express gratitude and thanks to all of you from the core of my heart. Thank you.
Let us all rise for national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
For your convenience, may I kindly request all our esteemed guests to please remain seated for a while as the Honorable Chief Justice of India and dignitaries, they proceed for high tea. Thank you.
Yes.